Hi, I'm Jo Bills from Freshagenda, here with your weekly take for the 1st of August. And really making news this week locally is the ACCC filing their statement of claim with the Federal Court over the events that overtook Murray Goulburn. Murray Goulburn will file their own defence at the end of August, but in the meantime it's really dominating the headlines. And I guess that, combined with the Bureau of Meteorology's latest seasonal outlook for continuing dry and warmer conditions, as well as a surging Australian dollar, probably isn't filling the local industry with that much confidence. But on the other side of the Tasman, with our Kiwi friends, it's a very different story. Fonterra has just increased their forecast payout for the current season to $6.75 New Zealand per kilogram milk solids. And that's a fairly strong price signal for farmers in New Zealand. It's shaping up to be a pretty strong season. Fonterra's also reported June production up almost 19%. June's obviously not a very big production month for New Zealand. It's generally about less than 1% of the season's production. But that, combined with increasing feed imports, a reduction in the number of cows culled, and pretty good soil moisture conditions across the country, notwithstanding the Southern Island floods last week. It's a pretty good outlook in terms of the New Zealand season. And I guess in other more general news about the global markets, we've seen trade has been fairly flat over the last 2 years and indeed the last 6 months or so. And we give an overview this week of global trade trends. And you can see that over the last 6 months, those trade volumes have been fairly flat. It's going to be interesting to see how buyers respond to a little bit more supply availability in the rest of the year, and whether that additional supply is taken up and we see a bit of an increase in trade. Most of the talk at the moment is about the global dairy trade being fairly well balanced, and certainly some of the news we're seeing out of the US and the EU supports that view. In the US, we've got some patchy food service performance, but generally a bit better sales volumes out of some of those cheese-hungry major fast food chains, and we've seen a drawdown in cheese stocks as a result over the last couple of months, and that's a fairly positive story for cheese. And we've seen prices on the Chicago Mutual Exchange increase as a result of that. And in the European Union, the European Commission's just released their latest outlook. They're looking at a modest increase in milk production, less than 1% over 2017, and most of that extra supply will be directed into cheese with, again, very good demand domestically. So they're seeing a lot less milk directed into skim milk powder, certainly given those very large inventories. That means butter's going to continue to be quite short and not much milk going into whole milk powder. So that's some of the highlights from this week's take. I've been Jo Bills from Freshagenda, and we'll see you next time.